this video, you are obviously very bookish, and I have the most perfect book for you. I have for you a novel love story by Ashley Poston, and it is so good. I gave it 5 stars. I read it in August. We have our main character, Eileen. She is in like the worst stage of life. She had a fiance, had being the key word. Her and her friends always go on like this book retreat weekend, which is fantastic because my friends and I do the same thing. But this year, her friends all bail. Her bestie has decided to go on a trip with her boyfriend to Iceland, and then everybody else just had life things come up. And Eileen is like, no, I need this for myself. I need this in my life. I'm going. And so she's going by herself out to a cabin in the woods. And as she's driving, it starts storming. And she ends up in this little bitty town, almost runs over somebody with their car, ends up in the bar, and just decides, I'm going to get a burger because all bars have burgers, or most bars that serve food have burgers. And they're like, hey, there's really like nowhere for you to stay because the inn is under renovation, but like maybe we can figure something out. In walks Anders, or Anderson, depending on who's talking to him, depends on what name gets used. And he is the owner of the local bookstore. Already living in my bookish, like, meet cute, right? So he offers her a loft in the bookstore, and she's like, awesome, I don't have to sleep in my car. So there's kind of like a tension already between them. Like, you can just feel there's a vibe happening. And as she gets up the next morning, she pretty quickly realizes, like, this town's a little weird. Like, things just keep happening. And this is not a spoiler because it tells you, I'm pretty sure early on in the book, that this town is not real. This town is the town in her favorite romance series, written by her favorite author, who also passed away in the last year and never finished the last book. And she's like, I'm crazy. Like, I must have driven off the road. I must be in a coma. I must be dying because this town isn't real. These people aren't real. This can't be happening. And this is kind of the adventure of her finding out, is the town real? Are the people real? Who is Anders? We know that he has secrets because things keep happening and you're like, what's going on here? What's going on there? And it was just a warm hug is the best way to describe this book. Now, perk of this book that I have is that I got it through the Once Upon a Book Club books. And so I'm going to show you the gifts that came with it. Because as you're reading the book, it comes with little Post-it notes. And it'll say, open gift here. And all the gifts are labeled so you know when to open the gift. So this one, if you haven't done your Once Upon a Book Club and you don't want to know, stop watching now and come back later. So this is from page 41. And it is the cutest Bluetooth, old school looking speaker. It's adorable and I love it. I haven't used it yet, but it will be probably going to my office with me. So that was the first one. The second one, I don't remember what page it was because it's not written on this box. They're cooking, and so you get a drying rack or a colander, and it's expandable, and it goes in your kitchen, like over your sink, which I just think is so cool and actually useful. I love when I actually get useful stuff in these boxes because there are some that are not as useful. And then the next one was on page 215, and I often keep these little bags and stuff because they make great little bags. And I'm not going to tell you what was happening because it's a spoiler, but you get some earplugs, different sizes, since everybody has different size ears. You can attach to the main part of the earplug there, and you can use those however you would like. Concerts, traveling, whatever. And then, because if you are my age, the entire time, every time someone said, come on, Eileen, you were probably singing the song. So they gave you a QR code to play Come On Eileen from Spotify. Probably one of my favorite bookish boxes that I get is Once Upon a Book Club. And this one in particular, because first of all, the book was A+. Then the gifts were really fun. I do have some tabs. I tagged some quotes because they're very bookish. So she's talking about her trip. And so in the summer of my 32nd year with no money and no prospects. Okay, Pride and Prejudice, we see you, right? Then we have some other ones that come up along the way. I just liked this one. It says, sometimes a book can change your life. And I just wrote facts because we all have that book that changed our lives. And for her, she is now living in that town. So she thinks, maybe. Who knows? She's talking about kind of her love for books. Year after year after year. Books that ferried me through heartbreak and hope and those terrible nights after Liam left. That's her ex-fiance. They were words that tucked me into bed at night when I was alone. They were words that played the soundtrack of my heart. The what ifs, the second guesses. The night I sat alone and wondered, why not me? These books were like arms I fell into, armor that protected me from the world when life got too hard. I mean, Ashley Poston. Why? You're hitting me right here, right in the feels. Ashley Poston is a book girl of the first order, right? She gets it. She's all of us. She's all of us bookish guys and gals. Oh, then the last one I wrote was Twilight much? And because it's talking about like loving somebody, it says utterly and irrevocably I can't clearly talk. I can't say this word. But it made me think of Twilight and Bella and being in love. So yes, I would 10 out of 10, 5 stars. I would recommend A Novel Love Story by Ashley Poston because it is phenomenal. So go and read it. Check it out.